Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Joyride podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Joy, and I'm already starting to tear up. This is this is going to be a very vulnerable episode. I had no idea that I was going to record this until I sat down literally 5 minutes ago, and I'm like, I need to go there. I have been feeling this call, this deep call for, I want to say about a month now, to really go into the darkness and the depth and the vulnerability of what I am experiencing. And by doing so, I know that I am quite literally attacking this fear of mine that I've had honestly my entire life, but more so recently over the past year of launching my business, and this feeling of always being perfect and living in perfectionism, and me showing up online and being truthful and being authentic, but also at the same time having this fear of, if I show up and I show people that there are times where I simply don't know what the fuck I'm doing and where I'm going, and I don't have my shit together, are people going to want to work with me? Like, are people just going to look at me and think, well, this girl has no fucking idea what she's doing. Why would I spend my money and work with her? And that has been a really, really big fear of mine, honestly, not wanting to show all of these other sides of me. I do show a lot of them, but I also know that my process of working through things and my integration process is very lone wolf. Very, I'm going to do it by myself and not show it. And although I do think that there are times for that where you simply just got to go into the darkness and do your own thing, I feel like there's so much knowledge, so much truth that we can all gain by being brave enough, by being bold enough, by being courageous enough to step forward and show other people when we're going through things, or just the motions of life. It's like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it and I'm showing up. So yeah, it's a Saturday night. It's 7:00, and I was walking the lake earlier today, and I have been feeling post-eclipse season, this week especially. I never know unless I check in with my astro people and I check in on what Instagram's saying. I don't know, like, on the daily what planets are in what sign and this eclipse and that and blah, 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 because things are shifting and moving and changing every single day. It's too much. And I also don't want to know that much, and I don't want that much control. I'm already programmed to be such a fucking fixer and control freak because of my Virgo tendencies. Like, I don't want to know every single thing that's happening. But what's really, really cool when you become very close to yourself, very connected to your sense of awareness, is that I can always tell when something feels off. I just can always tell in my body what it's trying to tell me without knowing, okay, Saturn's in this and this is going direct and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, my body already fucking told me. This is just validation now. This is just permission for me to be like, okay, I'm not crazy. So this week and last week, honestly, I've had these feelings. Again, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to get emotional. I can feel these feelings come through in my body that I have not felt. And I want to say maybe like 3 years, during a time in my life where I was so depressed and I was so, like, in the dark. This was oh my gosh, this was 3 years ago or 4 years ago. This was when I was working my corporate job and I was thinking about quitting it. I was 6 months in. I have never in my life been in such a low place because my soul was on the complete opposite end of what I knew that I should be doing. I've always known that I needed to help people, but that just took me to such a dark place. Long story short, I was in inside sales, and every day that I would go to sit down at my desk, I, within the first few minutes, had crippling anxiety. So much anxiety, so much stress, and there was nothing that you could give me financially. There was nothing that would make me not feel the way that I was feeling, and my body was giving me every single sign to get the fuck out of this place. So anyways, I quit my job, and I just remember that year, I think leading up to the job as well, I spent months, you guys, and I'm talking months. I cried every single day. I felt so lost. I was waiting for the permission slip and the validation from my parents to say, you're fucking depressed. Like, quit your job. Like, what are you doing? I remember that Thanksgiving, I came home. My dad picked me up at the airport. I will never forget this. I got in the car, waterworks. I couldn't hold it together for another minute because I was so distraught and I was so out of my own body, so out of my own soul. Like, I just knew that this wasn't it, but I didn't know what was going to come next. So anyways, I quit the job, and I just remember that New Year's just being so confused. I was so lost. Like, I had no idea what my next job was going to be, how I was going to make money, how I was going to move on to the next thing, but I just knew. I knew that there was something else out there because I could see it within myself. I could feel it within myself. But it was a lot of physical pain in my body. And why I'm getting emotional is because I haven't had these feelings that I'm feeling right now. Like, I had them 4 years ago. And for some reason, these similar types of feelings, or what I remember, are coming back. And I think it's because of a few things. We're going through so much transformation right now. I am going through so much transformation right now, and I'm feeling this very strong call, like I said in the beginning, to just be vulnerable and go into the dark. And not to say that, like, go into the dark and, like, talk about all these, like, horrible things. Like, that is so not the idea. It's just to kind of really, like, expose myself, expose what's actually happening, what I'm actually feeling, and knowing that this space of vulnerability will change lives and it will help someone else. And you may be hearing all of this and thinking, this girl's batshit crazy. What the fuck is she talking about? That's another thing that I'm working through getting over. In the stage of where my business is at right now, for months I've been toying back and forth between, like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Ultimately, how are people gonna work with me? Are people gonna want to work with me? Are people gonna want to pay me for what I do? Like, there has been so much fear around these gifts that I know that they're my gifts. I know what my purpose is. I know that I'm here to guide people and to be a coach and to be a speaker and to empower other people. But there is something that is eating away at me, that it's like starting to consume me. This fear of, how am I going to do it? How are my people going to come forward, and how are they going to find me? Or are they just not ready? Because I know that a lot of people are not ready for this work. They're just not. I experienced something with a close friend of mine the other week that I'm not going to get into, just for, like, I don't feel like I need to share about it, and it's more of a private situation. But anyways, someone that I met earlier in this year, I knew from the first time I met her that she wasn't ready to not only face herself, but to learn how to truly, truly love herself. And we went through something together recently where she felt completely triggered and completely attacked. And it was a really big ego death for me in a sense, but it also showed me that I can't force the work that I know that I'm meant to be doing onto other people. That's just that. Like, it almost feels like when I show up on social media a lot of the time, it's almost like I'm beating a dead horse, because I know that I'm speaking in such a language it's raw and it's full of depth and it's full of vulnerability and authenticity and truth. And a lot of the people that follow me just they are not there. And it's like I don't want to force myself to be speaking to those people, but at the same time I also know that this is what I'm called to do. So that is where the fear is settling in. It's like, where does my voice go? And I'm so grateful that I have this platform that I created, because I have not been recording as many episodes in the past month or so. And things in my life have really just, been showing me that my voice is here, and people need it, whether I have found them or not. And I need to continue to step forward and be vulnerable, and again showing up in my voice, showing up in my authenticity, showing up in my truth, and knowing that it's safe to go there, and knowing that it's completely safe for me to be vulnerable and to share the things that are honest to God, waking me up every morning with so much crippling anxiety, because I want it. Like, I am ready. I'm so ready to face whatever I have been, I don't want to say blocking out, because that's so not the feeling that I'm trying to transmute, but it's like, when you dip your toes in the water of the ocean, you're like, ooh, this is really cold. You're like, okay, I can stand here for like a minute or two and then I want to get out. I feel like a lot of things in my life have been like that. Like, oh, this doesn't really bother me. Or like, okay, I journaled about it and I cried really hard about it. Okay, we're good. But these eclipses and just what has been happening lately has shown me, no, bitch. Like, there are some deep-rooted fears here that need to be acknowledged. That is the number one thing that's coming up. My ego is being so loud recently, but I also have never in my life felt more connected to myself, and I've never felt more connected to God. Like, it almost is hard for me to put into words. There are so many things and feelings, emotions, downloads that I experience that I just get, like my inner knowing and my ability to become online, and almost like my psychic abilities, which I never really saw myself as being psychic. I never really saw myself as being super intelligent. I've never seen myself as being super, like, honestly, super nurturing and empathic and caring. And these are all incredibly strong qualities of mine that I'm learning, like, I'm just learning to love. Like, and it's weird. It's like, how was I blocking out these feelings of I am incredibly intelligent. And intelligence is not just, okay, you went to school and you know the logic and you know the facts, because that is not my type of intelligence. Like, no, I'm really emotionally intelligent. I've worked through a lot of shit on my own throughout the past 10 years, through the revelations that I've received, through the practices that I put myself through truly learning to love myself through and through. And through that, gaining this unwavering sense of confidence in myself that I do have. But I'm at this point where there are things that you just can't get yourself to believe unless you acknowledge that you have an old belief system that is still literally in your system. So you first have to acknowledge that, and you can't just feel your way into feeling these feelings. It's something that I have been trying to do for a really, really long time. And I know that a lot of very popular people in the space just tell you to like go in and like feel the feelings of being rich and feel the feelings of being loved. And it's like, I don't know what it feels like to be rich. I don't know what it feels like to truly be in love. I mean, I was in love with I want to say one person in my adult life, and the relationship didn't end well. I got cheated on in my first relationship. It taught me so much about myself, and men in general have taught me, oh my gosh, I will write a book. I've always said this. I will write a book one day about my experiences with men, because I'm just truly, I have so much gratitude for every guy who has never chosen me, because it allowed me to choose myself. But that's also something that I am working through right now in every single aspect of my life. Friends, men, in business. It's this fear of they are not choosing me. They're not choosing me. They're choosing someone else. I don't know if it's I'm not good enough, or they can't relate to me. I don't know what it is, but that is the fear that is keeping me from feeling rich and abundant and making this money and being in a beautiful, loving, loyal, compassionate, relationship. All of these things that I want. Like, for months I've been wanting a dog, and I've told myself, I'm just not ready for that. I'm in an apartment. I love, my lifestyle where I'm just flexible, and one minute I want to do this and the next minute I want to do that. So I don't know. But lately it's just I want these feelings of partnership, and I've done life, I want to say emotionally alone. I will not say financially alone, because I have gotten so much help from parents, from family over I don't know, the span of my 20s. And that's also something that I think for the longest time I was almost scared or embarrassed to admit. I will never be that girl that's I started with absolutely nothing and no one was here to help me, and I built my Fortune 500 company. That will never be me. I'm so incredibly grateful to come from a family that is okay. They are well off. Anything that I could ever need, they would drop anything to help me. And I'm so grateful for that. And I used to feel really disempowered, and I would get so caught up in anxiety and stress when family would offer to give me money and this and that, and I felt bad, I had to just hustle and grind. And of course I have to remind myself that I've chosen this path for myself. I've chosen to not go the traditional route, because that is never ever in my life felt safe and secure for me. But I'll never be that girl. And that's not something that I should be upset about. It's something that is actually incredibly empowering. All that my parents want to do is support me in any possible way that I can. But I also know that for myself, I want to sit here and say, I make this amount of money and I'm able to run these businesses and get these opportunities and meet these types of people, which I'm doing, but not anywhere near on a scale that I truly want for myself. And that all comes back to this belief of I truly don't know what it feels like to be living this rich life, this life that's in love. But I do want to say that I love my life, and I love how it makes me feel. And in talking about this, I don't want this to get like misconstrued in the sense of like, oh my God, like what is she even saying? Like she's a life coach, blah, blah, blah. I know what makes me happy. I have found my joy. I have found my purpose. Is it going to evolve? Absolutely. But I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with God, with the Holy Spirit, where I'm on my couch, just like in a deep meditation, or I'm in my bed and I'm sobbing because I can feel the soul. I feel it in my body. So it's like, there are so many aspects of my life that I feel are so abundant, are so rich, are so full. I'm like, I am not that girl anymore that has to sit at her job every single day and hates her fucking life. I am not that girl anymore. I have been that girl in the past, but that is not me anymore. And I don't live for the weekends, and I don't live to go on a trip, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things that I think, honestly, the majority of people are living for. They're living for, you know, the really great salary that they're making, but they've lost a ton of friends because they actually weren't true friends, and they're going out every weekend and they don't feel connected to their mind or their body. They don't know what fuels them. They don't know what lights them up. You know what I'm saying? They're just like living for the next thing. I feel like I'm actually the complete opposite. I'm so consciously present in the now, and like that's all that I have ever known how to do. I was thinking about this in my walk today. All I've ever known how to do is put myself first. Like literally, that's all that I've ever known is like, what does Rebecca need? How do I take care of herself? How do I take care of her mind? How do I take care of her body? How do I take care of her soul? And I'm finding lately that it's been triggering to me when people are like, oh, you know, I'm finally taking care of myself in my life because, you know, for so long I was like working and all of my time and energy was going to work, yet they're making like so much fucking money. And I'm almost sitting here getting triggered like, fuck, am I like giving too much to myself to the point where am I actually even doing anything? Like, why aren't I making this money? Why aren't I in these relationships? And that has really become highlighted and illuminated for me lately. It's like, I want to feel so secure in what I'm doing and the fact that it can support me. And I don't know what that feels like. I don't want to wake up every single morning feeling so much immense pressure that I know that I'm putting on myself. Like I know I can go out and get just like a regular job and make some money, but I also know that it would take me so far away from what I know that I'm called to be doing. And I'm at this point now in this season of life with where things are moving, and you know, we're coming up on the new year, where every year I feel like, here we go again. What is my life this year going to be like? Where am I starting from scratch again? It's like, I'm fucking done. I'm done every single year wondering, what is this year going to hold for me? I go into each year so optimistic, and it just feels like every year it's a new blank slate. And it's like, I'm done. And I've felt like that pattern has been done ever since, I want to say, the end of last year, when I got into my car accident in November, and I just stopped working for this couple that I was working for in Austin yet again. It was like another point in the year, like, okay, what's next? And that's when I was like, we're going full in and building this business, and I don't know how, and I don't know where it's going to take you. And this year has been the most humbling, the most illuminating, the most expansive, truly abundant year of my life. And none of it has to do with money. I have had clients, I have worked with clients, I have met people that I never in my wildest dreams would have ever imagined that I would be sitting down and having a conversation with them. And it felt normal. I have been a speaker. I've held events, like so many things that I never even could have conceptualized would have happened. But I'm also at this point where I'm craving something different. I turned 28 in September, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done holding this burden of doing it all on my own. I'm burnt out. I'm just exhausted. And you know what? I just simply don't want it anymore. There was a time in my life where I wanted this sense of independence. I didn't want to rely on like, oh, let me make sure that this is okay with mom and dad, or, you know, just other people, like waiting for their permission slip, waiting for their validation. That's why I fell in love with the human design system. I'm like, this system is giving me the permission slip to go out into the world and be fucking me. I don't need to, you know, get permission from anyone else. I don't need to be validated from anyone else. I feel this in my soul that this is what I'm called to do. And that's why I decided to learn the system and to teach it and to bring it to other people, because it truly was such a gratifying experience. But I'm now at this point in my life where things are shifting and changing, and like I have been in an apartment for the past few years and I want my own space. I have felt for so long like I'm not ready for a house. I'm not ready for all these things. And at the root of it was, well, I would be ready if I had the money to do so. But because I don't, I'm telling myself that I'm not ready for it. And I'm like, ooh, that's what this is all coming down to. Putting your sense of safety and security into money, which is something that I've never had. My sense of safety and security has always come from my intuition, and I've always been supported in every single transition that I've been through in my life. And let me tell you, I've had a fuck ton of transitions. I've probably had more jobs than the average person. I've worked jobs from 3 days to 3 months to 6 months to 2 weeks. Like, I've tried out so many things. And I think I know that coming up on this new year, that's where this fear is stemming from. Like, I refuse to go back into that pattern of, fuck, this isn't working out. This isn't making the money. This isn't blah, blah, blah. Let me go just like get something in the interim to like fill the space, fill the time. It's like, no, I'm here. I know what the fuck that I need to be doing. And yes, I get so overwhelmed at times because I still too, it's like human design teaches you to lean into your strengths, to lean into your gifts. And I know what my gifts are, and I know how I want this business to go and what I want to be pouring my energy into. But of course, we live in a world where there's social media, there's other people around me that are so incredibly successful, which I'm grateful that I live in this city that is so, like, just the energy is connected to what I do, like what my soul work is here to do. But at the same time, then I fall into this comparison trap of, well, they're doing that, I should do this. Fuck, I'm not doing that. How am I? Like, just how? The big how is this going to work? Taking it back to the house, like, I want a house. I want to feel rooted for where I'm at. For such a long time, I had no idea if I was going to be in Austin for longer than a few years. I just didn't know. I'm like, things could be up in the air. There was a point in my life during COVID where I for a second debated moving to North Carolina where my family was, and then I thought, I could just pack up all my shit and be like a nomad. But that actually is the complete opposite of what I've always wanted to do. Like, I feel so connected to Austin. I feel so connected to the people, and I'm ready for roots in my own space. I'm ready for a partner. Like, I went to see one of my clients last night, and I was telling her that for the longest time, I would always tell myself that I'm ready to be in a relationship. Like, where are these men? I'm ready. Yet there was absolutely nothing about my life that I wanted to change. So I just thought someone can just come into my world and like maneuver whatever they're doing and figure it out on their end. And I'm just going to like keep everything the same. And I truly don't believe in like this art of you have to sacrifice your soul or like sacrifice what you love to live this life that you love. That makes absolutely no sense to me. But I'm also in such a different place now where I'm just done doing everything on my own. It's been me on my own for so long, doing everything, like emotionally making this work. And there are just days where, it's like just having the presence of someone is enough. And that's all that I need, and that's what I want. So the house, the partner, and again, that goes back to, when I was younger thinking like, do I want to be super successful? Do I want to follow my burning passions and my desires? Or am I going to go the route of like, am I going to follow the money? Like I almost convinced myself that I could only choose one thing. It's like you can either follow what lights up your soul, you can be super wealthy, or you can be in love, or you can travel. Like, I don't even remember when I convinced myself that, but I know that is a belief system that I've held on to for so long. Like, you can only choose one. And I've been in this pattern of going down the route of, oh my gosh, Rebecca, you look like you're living your best life and you're so successful and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, man, I'm super fucking grateful that I effing love what I do and I feel really called to do it. Sure, there are so many days where I have imposter syndrome, but like sitting on the mic and just sharing how I feel, that feels so fucking true to me. Like I can't even begin to tell you when I'm working with clients, when I'm speaking, when I'm teaching, when I'm at an event, like that is my wheelhouse, is like stepping into this individualism, in this independence, almost just like shining on stage, but also channeling into my intuitive clarity and my wisdom, and also being such a nurturer and a caretaker for other people. Like, I want to take care of a man. I don't want to be their mom by any means, but I want to take care of someone. I want to nurture someone. I want a dog and I want to take care of them and I want to nurture them. And lately I've been really, really leaning into all of my incredibly strong Cancer aspects in my astrological chart. Cancer is the caregiver, it's the nurturer, like wants to take care of things. And I have a lot of my Cancer not Cancer placements, but I have a lot of my placements, like my Chiron, which is the wounded healer, my North Node. I have a lot of Libra placements. Libra is all about partnership and relationship and communion and selflessness and like putting the other person first. I have a lot of Libra placements, but they're in the 4th house that is ruled by Cancer. And Cancer, I was reading about it today, is apparently like the foundational aspect of the astrological chart, all about home, all about family. And I was reading today that a lot of like the themes about the 4th house in Cancer have to do with generational patterns and how you were brought up, with your parents, like strong ties to how your father was, how your mother was. So I have just been leaning into that a lot, and it's brought up a lot of confusion for me because it's like I felt for so long that every single thing that I did in my life needed to be validated by my parents. Was it okay for me to stop this? Was it okay for me to go in this new direction? And it wasn't up until I want to say, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, where I really cut this cord and like I felt within my body, Rebecca, the only person that you truly need to trust is yourself. Like, you don't need to ask your parents' permission if you want to go do something. And so that was a radical change that I experienced in my life. But also, at the same time, I still feel these creeping feelings come in of, are my parents proud of me? Like, do they understand what I'm doing? Do they understand that, like, what I'm doing I can make a living off of, I can be successful from? And it's pulling myself into this spiral of fear. Well, like, shit, can I be successful from this? Can I actually make this work? Like, it's, I thought I had healed from it years ago when I cut this cord and I no longer was asking them their permission to do things. But then it caused me to go into this world where it's only me here. And like I said, I don't want to be experiencing that anymore. Like, yes, I will always be original, and I will always be independent, and I love that about myself so much. Like, my strong Leo placements when it comes to my career and shining and being on stage, my Aries South node, like, doing things in hyper independence is what feels very, very comfortable to me. But also I know that my soul is moving towards relationship, partnership, communion. There is someone new who just came into my life who's been helping me with my business. She is a client. She is now a very close friend of mine. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this without you. Like, it almost freaks me out to think that, like, I could lose her or something would happen that I don't have her around anymore. I'm like, now that I have you, like, I feel so much more in my power, in my gifts, because I want to shine where I feel confident and I feel comfortable. And I want you to fill in my gaps. And where you fill in my gaps, where my weaknesses are, you shine. And I'm just ready for that in life and in partnership and with someone else, and, adopting a new belief system that I can have it all, and I don't need to sit here and ruminate and analyze. I was reading in A Course in Miracles today, to analyze is to separate, and I don't want to be separate. I want to have the belief system that I can make a fuck ton of money, that I don't need to be slaving away all day, every day, because I don't want to do that. Like, I have never been the girl that is like, I'm going to hustle and I'm going to grind and I'm going to work all day, every day. Yes, I'm recording this on a Saturday night, but intuitively, I just felt like I had to. And to me, that's what feels right. But I am not the girl that wants to keep such, like, a strict schedule throughout the week where I don't have time to be with my people and this and that. Like, that just sounds absolutely horrible to me. I'm truly ready to, again, bring these fears, acknowledge them, bring them to the surface, because there is no way in hell that I'm moving into this new year still being capable of housing these old belief systems in my body. Like, I just am at this point where I cannot take it anymore. I will not move into another year feeling so up in the air of what's going to happen, and also putting so much pressure on myself to figure out how to make it work. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want that pressure. I just want to know that me being in my joy and in my fulfillment and in my soul work, being raw, being open, being vulnerable, telling people that, like, hey, I don't have all the fucking answers, okay? Like, I am still figuring out my own shit, but to me, the most inspirational people, the most empowering people are the people that are truthful and raw and honest about that. This healing journey is a continuation. It never, ever ends. And I truly feel called that I was chosen to help people, to heal people, to bring people back home to themselves. And I can only do that by continuing this work on myself. So that's something that I am ready to get out of my system, to not be ingrained in me anymore. Again, going back to the perfectionism of what if I show up and what if people think that like she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about? It's like me just showing up and sharing, isn't that enough? I want to believe in myself that that's enough, and that people won't turn away from me if they think that like, oh, this girl doesn't have all the answers to my problems. Because that's also something that I've suffered with for a very, very long time, and thinking this one book, this one coach, if I hire them, this one practice that I do, this one healing mechanism, this is going to solve whatever's happening. I am here to tell you that that will never happen. We are all mirrors for one another. We are all a reflection of one another. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I'm a really, really, really good reflection for other people. And I'm incredibly intuitive and psychic and very, very wise. And just because I don't have everything figured out, just because I'm not the millionaire, just because I'm not madly in love with my partner and I have this huge house, like I have so many other gifts and I'm so abundant in so many other areas of my life. But I'm also self-aware and very, very comfortable in saying I want those things and I don't have them right now. And I'm ready to have them. I'm ready to get rid of, to unblock, to bring to the surface all of these patterns and belief systems that are holding me back from actually believing that I, Rebecca Joy Weintraub, can be really wealthy, and I can be super in love, and I can have the house, and I can, do whatever the fuck that I want. Like, I can do that. I can, and that's possible for me. Wow. It almost just felt like I was talking to a therapist the whole time, but yet it was just me talking to myself. Wow, I really, really needed that for myself. I'm feeling like I'm done. I'm feeling like there's truly nothing else that I want to share. But this episode is the first episode of this new path that I'm embarking on, this new path of true, raw honesty and vulnerability, and not being afraid at all to expose my truth and what I'm truly actually feeling, and not being scared of that, because for the longest time it's like I'm feeling all these things, but I'm so scared that if I say them out loud, people are gonna think a certain way, and not in the sense of like wanting to be accepted by people. Like, I really don't give a fuck about that, but it's like, if I say these things, are people not gonna think that I'm good enough? Or if I say these things, are they actually gonna happen, and I'm gonna be like broke for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna be alone and this and that? And it's like almost comical. That's a tip that I want to give to you. We're always operating from a space of fear in the ego, or we can choose to operate from the heart center, which is a space of love. And that's something that I'm really battling with right now. Like, I feel God's presence more than I've ever felt in my entire life. And that is the only path that I am consciously choosing to walk along. I will not walk along the path of fear and lack and scarcity and pain and confusion and suffering and the ego. Like, I've done it, and it comes up from time to time, and I truly believe that this time for me right now is a time for me to go into the darkness and to expose myself and to acknowledge the things that need to come online, because I am ready. I am ready, God, to adopt these new belief systems where I truly believe, like actually believe that these things are possible for me. Because I'll meet with people, I see people, and I'm like, oh my God, you are the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. Like, I'm so bold, and I'm so confident, and I'm so empowering. And I truly believe that's why I'm being called to do this work. But I can only do this work if I first and foremost wholeheartedly continue to do the work for myself. I've been doing the work for a very, very long time, but I'm ready to go into the motherfucking trenches. So stay tuned for what's to come, for what happens, but I appreciate you being open-minded. I appreciate you being curious. I appreciate you being understanding and willing to listen to me and to also not judge, because it's something that I am learning to do for other people. I can be in their space and I can hear and I can see them and I can choose to have an open mind, but it's not my job to judge them, because we are all dealing with our own things. But the majority of people will never, ever, ever talk about it. Either because they're scared or they just have never gone there, so the connection to themselves is so lost. Or they feel, I don't know, there's so many emotions that they could feel, but if you are someone that is open to listening to me, to listening to the stories of other people, like I feel called to share everything that I choose to share online with people. Yes, this isn't a podcast, on my own platform. It's not like I'm sitting here and I'm having a live on Instagram or anything. And people are choosing to come here and to listen to what I have to say, but also, I wouldn't be sharing it if I didn't honestly truly feel like my words can help empower someone else. I want to look back in 5 years and 10 years at making God knows how much money, being so in love with my partner, speaking on stages and hosting events, and like, who the fuck knows what other businesses I'm going to create and where I'm going to be and what I'm going to do. Like, I want to be a force. I want to be a powerful source, and not just a powerful source in the money that I'm making and the hours that I'm working and what I'm creating in business. Like, no, I want to be a powerful source because I'm me and I'm vulnerable and I feel confident in sharing my true self with the world. And I know not everyone feels called to do that, but I do. And I, from this moment forward, am fully taking on that role of being, like literally being in my authentic self for whatever that feels like, for whatever that comes up. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I would never work with this fucking girl, okay. Like, that's it. That's my own fear. That's my own judgment that I'm putting on myself, that people are gonna run away because, I'm telling them all these things, yet I don't have some of those things. But I'm telling you right here, right now, that I am taking the plunge and I'm taking those steps to change these belief systems so that I can believe for myself that whatever I truly want is possible, because I believe that. I 1,000 trillion million % believe that we are here to be put on earth to not only heal one another, to help one another, to serve one another, but to also live our most abundant lives. Like, I will not live in a world where I cannot be living my most abundant, rich life. No, like, absolutely not. So I'm here to do the work. I'm here to show up. I'm here to speak up. I'm here to be a voice of reason, be a truth teller. And that's all that I can do. I'm out. There's nothing else for me to say. Thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for being here with me on this journey. And stay tuned for the next one.